Republicans are perfectly comfortable lying to you, conservative voters, about, we shouldn't be sending all this money to Ukraine. We should be worried about the American people. When's the last time Republicans have ever talked about spending money on the American people? They've been wanting to cut education, Social Security. They don't want Medicare for all. They hate welfare. They don't want to spend money on yo ass. Like, bro, I love conservative white Americans, but the people you vote for don't give a fuck. We are spending 0.33% of our GDP on Ukraine. We'll see how long Trump and his geriatric goons can keep this up. So Trump shenanigans truly know no bounds, bro. Like, I'm tired. Like, bro, like, I used to be a Trump. What's crazy is I used to be a Trump supporter, but, joke's on you. I'm 22. So, I was a Trump supporter when I was like 18. So I get to be dumb. I get to be stupid. Don't come in the comments and tell me you were a Trump supporter. Shut up. I was young. I was dumb. I get to ride out on that with no criticism. So take that L. Don't play with me. But I was a Trump supporter, but now, like, I'm really tired of Trump. I want Trump to go. Why do I want Trump to go? There's a border bill. As a lot of you know, there is a migrant crisis going on right now. And currently, migrants are flooding New York City because Texas is sending them there. We have a border issue where Greg Abbott is refusing to tear down barbed wire from the border, and Biden's telling him, tear it down. And Greg Abbott saying, no, I don't want people crossing into Texas illegally. No. So now they're in a spat. We got a border issue, migrant issue. There is a crisis going on right now. And we're looking at almost something reminiscent of the Civil War, where a state is refusing to abide by federal law. So here we have a situation where Joe Biden's bill professes this. Let's see what Brandon is saying. Let's see what he has to say about the border, okay? So, statement from President Joe Biden on the bipartisan Senate border and security negotiations. For too long, we all know the border has been broken. It's long past time to fix it. That's why 2 months ago, I instructed my team to begin negotiations with a bipartisan group of senators to seriously and finally address the border crisis. For weeks now, that's what they've done, working around the clock through the holidays and over the weekends. Let's be clear. What's been negotiated would, if passed into law, be the toughest and fairest set of reforms to secure the border we've ever had in our country. It would give me, as president, a new emergency authority to shut down the border when it becomes overwhelmed. And if given that authority, I would use it the day I sign the bill into law. Further, Congress needs to finally provide the funding I requested in October to secure the border. This includes an additional 1,300 Border Patrol agents, 375 immigration judges, 1,600 asylum officers, and over 100 cutting-edge inspection machines to help detect and stop fentanyl at our southwest border. Securing the border through these negotiations is a win for America. For everyone who is demanding tougher border control, this is the best way to do it. If you're serious about the border crisis, pass a bipartisan bill and I will sign it. So Joe Biden is saying this. Joe Biden wants a deal for the border in which Republicans in the House allow him to send funding to Ukraine to support them and to support our allies that are currently at war. And in exchange, he will, if given the authority to in this bill, he wants both. He says, look, give me the funding for Ukraine and I'll give you the shutdown of the border if that's what you want. Here's what he's saying. He's saying this. It would give me, as president, right? He's saying that it would give me, as president, a new emergency authority to shut down the border when it becomes overwhelmed. And if given that authority, I would use it the day I sign the bill into law. Now, here's what Donald had to say. He said, I do not think we should do a border deal at all, unless we get everything needed to shut down the invasion of millions and millions of people. Notice how Donald Trump has not described what everything means. Biden is literally giving the Democrats. He's telling the Republicans. He's saying Republicans. I will shut down the whole border if that's what you want. In order for me to get this Ukraine funding out, in order for us to stop Russia from possibly starting World War III, I will shut down the whole fucking border if that's what you want. And Donald Trump is on his little Truth Social app saying, unless we get everything we need to shut down the invasion. It's like, Biden's offering everything. He's offering the entire shutdown of the border, bro. He says, I do not think we should do a border deal at all unless we get everything needed to shut down the invasion of millions and millions of people, many from parts unknown, into our once great but soon to be great again country. Also, I have no doubt that our wonderful Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, will only make a deal that is perfect on the border. Remember, without strong borders and honest elections, we don't have a country. So he slips in the honest elections thing there. He says, without a strong border and me being president, we don't have a strong country. Now, Trump is very manipulative with his language. Trump says, also, I have no doubt that our wonderful Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, will only make a deal that is perfect on the border. He's reminding the Republicans in the House, don't prioritize this fucking country over me. I have deals that I want worked out when I'm the president. We're not going to be doing anything until I'm the president. Now, why is Trump doing this? Donald Trump is engaging in this anti-American activity. Why is he doing it? Donald Trump is obviously, as you all know, running for president again in 2024, which is the year that we're in. And Donald Trump is desperate for a platform for his campaign. He needs something that will rile up the American people to want to vote for him. Now, what he needs is immigration. He needs immigration. He has nothing else to run on. What the fuck else is Donald Trump going to run on? Young people are pissed about Roe versus Wade. He better not even mention abortion. He better not even say the letter A, B, O, R, T. None of that. He better not say anything about that. Republicans fumble that, bro. Whew, I'm so glad they fumbled that. He has nothing he can run on right now besides illegal immigration. Joe Biden passing a bill that will secure our border and secure the safety of our allies and the defeat of our enemy, Russia, this harms Donald Trump's campaign. Because if Donald Trump doesn't have the platform of immigration to run on, the only thing he's left with is the election was stolen, which everyone who's in their right fucking mind knows the election was not stolen. He will lose every debate, every discussion pertaining to this campaign if he does not have immigration on his side. Donald Trump himself takes credit for derailing the entire fucking plan. Don't believe me? Bet. I got something for y'all. Don't worry about it. Let's listen to Unc himself.
The so-called border security deal Biden is gushing out and pushing out is not designed to stop illegal immigration. It's designed to continue the invasion of America while sending billions of dollars.
Now, is that true? He said it's not designed to stop the influx of illegal immigrants. We know that's a lie, though. We know that's not true. How do we know it's not true? Because Joe Biden is literally offering Republicans like, look, you know what? Fine. You want the border shut down? Fine. I am so desperate to get this funding to our allies to make sure we defeat Russia and secure our geopolitical interests. I will let you all shut down the fucking border. I will let y'all do it. He's saying this. What's been negotiated would be, is if passing the law, it would be the toughest and fairest set of reforms to secure the border we've ever had in our country. It would give me, as president, a new emergency authority to shut down the border when it becomes overwhelmed. And if given that authority, I will use it the day the bill is signed into law. So Biden is giving Republicans like, look, shit, you know what? You want me to shut down the border? Fine. Fine. And you know what's cool? If Trump wins the presidency, if this bill is passed and Trump wins, guess what Trump can do? Trump would also be able to shut down the border, which he would probably do indefinitely from the moment he breathes in the White House air. Biden is making the biggest concession he could possibly make. And Republicans, some of them are 100% willing to take the deal. But then you got Trump and his henchmen that won't take the deal.
To Ukraine and other countries. And you know, Ukraine's an interesting case. People always want to know my feeling. Number one, we're in for 200 billion plus, and the European nations are in for 20 billion. And it's more important for them. And don't you think they should equalize? Nobody asks them. It's like I did with NATO. I said, we're paying for NATO, and we don't get so much out of it. And you know, I hate to tell you this about NATO. If we ever needed their help, let's say we were attacked, I don't believe they'd be there. I don't believe. I know the people. I know them. I can tell you country by country who would be there and who, but I don't believe they'd be there. But I took care of NATO. I said, you got to pay your bills. If you don't pay your bills, we're not going to be there to support you. And The following day, the money came rolling into NATO. But
here's a problem with what he's saying. I need people that support Trump to listen to what I'm about to say. This is total bilateral aid commitments to Ukraine as a percentage of donor gross domestic product between January 24th of 2022 and May 31st of 2023 by country. Now, Estonia has sent the most, 1.26% of their GDP. Now, let's go to the most important nation on this list, the United States. Let's find the United States. The United States has sent 0.33% of our GDP. I want y'all to understand something when conservative political pundits and politicians lie to y'all and tell y'all that we're spending too much money on Ukraine. We are spending 0.33% of our GDP on Ukraine. A negligible amount of money that is not getting in the way of any other government program. What I'm trying to get you to understand is that Donald Trump is willing to throw away a 0.33% GDP investment in destroying the Russian military and economy in the war in Ukraine. He's willing to throw all of that away just so he can have a victory on his fucking campaign about immigration. Republicans are perfectly comfortable lying to you, conservative voters, about, you know, we shouldn't be sending all this money to Ukraine. We should be worried about the American people. When's the last time Republicans have ever talked about spending money on the American people? They've been wanting to cut education, Social Security. They don't want Medicare for all. They hate welfare. They don't want to spend money on yo ass. Like, bruh, Republicans don't want to put money behind the American people. I'm sorry. I love conservative white Americans. I love y'all. I've got no disrespect toward y'all. No hate in my heart toward y'all. But the people you vote for don't give a fuck. And they spent the last 2 years of the Ukrainian war lying to you, telling you that we're spending so much money on Ukraine, billions of dollars. You do realize those billions are an extremely small percentage of our GDP. It's not affecting us at all. Spending money on Ukraine has been one of the most easy fucking layup decisions we could ever make as a country. We have caused massive amounts of economic and military damage to Russia, the same nation whose former president threatened to blow us up with a nuclear bomb yesterday. Dmitry Medvedev comes out with a new threat every week. I mean, it's almost like a talent at this point. Salute to him. He's great at threatening us every month. Really every week. Somebody give him a reward. He's good at that shit. I ain't gonna lie. This nigga Dmitry Medvedev threatened to blow us up again. And Trump is over here talking about we shouldn't be sending money to Ukraine. What is he talking about? Does the United States spend the most amount of money as it pertains to NATO? Yes. Here's the thing about NATO. NATO is not a group fund. It's not something we all pay for together. It's not like going out with your homeboys to eat and we all split the bill together. No. NATO is an organization in which all the countries within NATO are supposed to pay a specific amount of their GDP toward their defense. Now, Trump is correct that many NATO nations have not paid the direct amount that they were supposed to. He is right. There are many NATO countries that have not allocated the proper percentage of their GDP toward their defense budget. The problem is you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. One of the really cool things about NATO is that because we pay the most, we get to call the shots as the United States. That's an advantage we have. Now, when we talk about making America great again, America being great, America being powerful, part of that power, that power and that greatness is being able to tell the continent of Europe what the fuck to do. That's crazy. We get to dictate what Europe does basically as it pertains to foreign policy. We get to tell Europe what to do. Go here, go there, do this, do that. We get to do that because we run the show as it pertains to NATO. We do. And the reality is that per capita, Europe has paid more toward Ukraine than we have. I'll go back again to this, right? Estonia, 1.26%. Latvia, 1.09%. Lithuania, 0.95%. Poland, 0.68%. Slovakia. Europe has paid more toward Ukraine than we have in total. They have paid more toward Ukraine. So when Trump sits there and says, NATO's not paying their fair share, they've actually done more than we have as it pertains to Ukraine. This is a fact of numbers, of truth. Look, I don't hate Trump. I will never make a video disrespecting this nigga. I'm never going to make a video attacking the man's family. I'm never going to make a video like vilifying or like trying to like derail this nigga's personal life. I'm not that kind of like character on the internet. I hope I never am. I do, however, criticize how he moves as a politician and the things that he does. I will always critique those things. I'm not just going to sit here and act like what he's doing is not strategically bankrupt. Now let's talk about the fuckery he's got. Voice crack. Let's talk about the fuckery he's got going on as it pertains to Washington. Top U.S. Senate negotiator said Thursday that final details on an immigration policy deal remain under debate in the U.S. Senate, despite outside pressure from GOP presidential frontrunner Donald Trump to sink any agreement as he makes immigration his central campaign message. The number 2 Senate Republican and GOP whip, Senator John Thune, said that negotiations on an immigration deal tied to the passage of a multi-billion-dollar global security supplemental package, right? So, like I said, negotiations on an immigration deal tied to the passage of a multi-billion-dollar global security supplemental package. Now, what is that global billion-dollar security supplemental package? That is the Ukraine funding that we're talking about. These two things are tied together in this deal, okay? Biden is willing to trade, right, the border for Ukraine. He's willing to make a deal with them, right? He's willing to make a deal. So here's what they're saying. They're saying that if we can't get the deal done, we'll go to Plan B, the South Dakota Republican said. He did not go into details on what a Plan B would look like or if a deal on immigration would be removed from the supplemental, which would provide critical aid to Ukraine that some Republican and Democratic senators are advocating for as the country runs low on ammunition in its war with Russia. Like in his first presidential campaign, Trump has made immigration a main theme, often referring to immigrants claiming asylum at the southern border as an invasion, or migrants, excuse me. On his social media site, Truth Social, that's definitely not a loaded title. That's definitely not a loaded website name at all. He has urged congressional Republicans to not accept it. Now imagine a fucking former president derailing national legislation. This is sick. I know he's like running for office, but this is ridiculous. Like, bruh, the fact that he can derail such a great deal for our nation's both domestic and international security just because he's the front runner of the GOP is disgusting. It's disgusting. But see, all Donald Trump has to do is turn the mob against you. His fan base will follow him into the deepest, darkest, most satanic, demonic depths of hell. Donald Trump could be the devil himself and they'll still say, we'll follow him. We'll still stand. I'm going to stand beside him. They're going to stand beside this nigga no matter what, bro. Like, it doesn't matter what Donald Trump does. During a closed-door meeting on Wednesday night, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, that man is still around, of Kentucky, acknowledged the difficulty of passing an immigration bill and the potential it would undermine Trump. Oh my God. The top Republican negotiator of the deal, Oklahoma Senator James Lankford, told reporters at the Capitol. So James Lankford snitched on Mitch McConnell. So Mitch McConnell apparently behind the scenes acknowledged the fact that it could undermine Trump if they passed this immigration bill. Now this bill is everything they need, everything they've been asking for. But because Trump won't benefit from it either in his campaign or in his potential presidency, the Republicans are willing to completely derail our border. Why am I stuttering so fucking much today? They are completely willing to undermine our border and our international security all on the altar of Donald Trump's presidency. This nigga's a million years old. Donald Trump has accomplished bruh, this nigga is a 90 million year old man covered in like whatever that is. All that bronze, gold powder he got going on. Bro, this nigga has lived enough life, bro. Trump has seen enough. He's grabbed enough titties. He's grabbed enough pussy. He's grabbed enough ass. He's lived enough life. He's done, bro, like he's done enough, hasn't he? He's a multi-billion-dollar man. His family name, well, he ruined his family name with January 6th. But his family name still holds some level of like status in our country. Not some level, a pretty good amount. This man, both in terms of his own personal success, his family's success, and their status and their legacy, Trump has done it all. This man was the president of the United States, a billionaire. This man has done it all. Why are we undermining the security of our country, of over 300 million Americans? We're undermining our border security, and we're undermining our international interests for this this fucking geezer. Like, what's going on? What's going on? But Langford disputed that McConnell's comments, which were first reported by Punchbowl News, meant a deal on immigration would be killed so that Trump can attack President Joe Biden on the... Oh, surely that's not what happened. Okay, sure. McConnell was laying out the political realities of where things are, and it was the elephant in the room conversation. We're in a political election season. Why is that even a topic of conversation? Why are y'all in there coming up with a plan for legislation and worrying about Trump's presidency? That ain't got nothing to do with y'all. But Republican Senator Mitt Romney of Utah, a longtime Trump critic, told CNN that the fact that Trump would communicate to Republican senators and congresspeople that he doesn't want us to solve the border problem, but basically wants to blame Biden for it, this is really appalling. It is appalling. Thank God. You know, people used to talk about Mitt Romney like he was the devil back then. Mitt Romney is so reasonable. I was 12 back then, so anything I might have said about Mitt Romney back then, I get a pass. Mitt Romney is like the voice of reason right now, and everybody calls him a rhino and all that little punk ass, little hoe ass MAGA shit that they be saying. Rhino. These rhinos are the only thing left of your party that's actually resembling some symbol. These are the only people left in your party. These are the only people left in your party resembling some fucking semblance of reason, rationale, logic, and cohesion. The rest of y'all's party is coked out. The rest of y'all's party is perked out. The rest of y'all's party is drugged out. Facts. Langford said that he has not talked to Trump in months and that he, along with the bipartisan group of senators working on the border deal, Senators Chris Murphy, Democrat of Connecticut, and Kirsten Sinema, she's still in office, independent of Arizona, are still moving forward. It's now the end of January, in the middle of the presidential primary season, so I think that's the shift that has occurred that he's just acknowledging. Sure it is. Sure it is. Sure, nothing has anything to do with securing a victory for Uncle Trump. Look, that nigga Trump, that nigga Deontay, he is derailing our country. Truly. And it's high time that we got rid of him. Because he's truly getting in the way of our nation having some semblance of progress. He's truly getting in the way of our nation having some semblance of working together. The Republicans in Congress can deny it all they want. Oh, we're not derailing the bill for Trump so he can have a platform. Sure you aren't. We're not getting in the way of this so Trump can fucking do it himself when he gets into office and take credit. Sure you're not. We know what's happening here. We know. I know. They know. We all know. We all know exactly what y'all are up to. Y'all are derailing our nation's security, both international and domestic, for this orange... This nigga... Like, bruh. You know what Trump need to do? Trump, just retire. Walk away from politics. Like, rock back and forth on a fucking, chair on your porch. Watch your grandkids play. Go do something else besides terrorizing our, oh my God, bro. Like, this shit is crazy. Bro, I ain't gonna lie. This is the best thing that ever happened to Barack Obama. Barack Obama was the first black president. Republicans swore to God he was the most disrespectful, divisive, horrible president, and in came Donald Trump to prove everyone wrong about Obama and to prove that Barack Obama is probably one of the best presidents we've ever fucking had. Like, thank God. I know Obama is probably somewhere A, disappointed in this country, and B, laughing his ass off, because if I was Obama, this shit is comedy to me. To have these conservatives who swore to God that I'm the worst thing that ever happened in this country, and oh my God, we need a Republican in there, and then they get this nigga Trump. This nigga Trump. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, Republicans, y'all can't keep this game up forever. You think you can derail legislation forever and no one's gonna know about it? You're not going. This is not an infinite thing you can pull off forever. Eventually, your voters will know what you're doing. Democrats know what you're doing. Young people are finding out what y'all are doing. You can't keep this scheme up forever. So, we'll see how long Trump and his geriatric goons can keep this up, because this is not an infinite game y'all can play. I know what you're doing. A lot of other people are going to find out what you're doing. Y'all can't keep this up forever. The people will know. So, for those of you that support Deontay, aka Donald, or Darnell, for those of y'all that support Brandon, Joe Biden, for those of y'all that support the progressives, for those of y'all that support MAGA, make your opinions known. Debate in the comment section. Talk your shit. Be respectful, but still pop your shit. Make it known what you believe and what you think. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.